Please, I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, episode 71 of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I'm Courtney Perry. Hi. I've been on doing a podcast in the evening kick, so I figured I'm just going to roll with it, and now I'll have them at night. So I kind of want to get back to, I used to do them at night all the time, and it's quite lovely. I love being out here. I'm not one that gets scared of the dark. How about you guys? Are you ones that can, are you afraid of the things that go bump at night? I just look at it like it's a different perspective. It's a different point of view. I've said this a million times. I am a photographer, so I like to look at things from all angles, all perspectives. I try to look at life like that in general, from all different angles. I definitely can be one-sided sometimes. Once in a while, I can look at things just the way I want to see them and really no other way. But I usually try my very best to look at how somebody else, through their eyes and see maybe what they could be seeing that I'm not. And I think that's kind of what we all should do in general, right? We should come out at night, look at things at night and just go, this tree and these things that are out in the woods that may seem creepy because you can't quite see them. So it's the unknown, right? It's what you can't see that scares a lot of people. When you can't see what's in front of you, that's scary. But I kind of look at it like it's the same thing that's always in front of me. It's just at night, So there's always raccoons and cougar and deer and crickets, and these trees always look the same. It's just at night. Some of them are awake. They're not awake during the day. So they're rustling around at night. They're still there during the day. They're still out there during the day. We just don't really see them. And the trees at night are silhouetted and they look beautiful. And during the day, we can see the leaves and we can see all the bugs on them. And, it's just a different aspect. And I love it. Like I sit here and I look at my property and I've got motion lights, and I love when I can see them lighting up, because I think, is that a deer? Is it a cougar? Is it a raccoon? Is it one of my cats? Is it a coyote? Is it a bobcat? Who knows? But I love that. It doesn't make me scared. I mean, okay, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes, like, is it an axe murderer? Is it someone coming to get me? I don't know. That's a little creepy, but honestly, like right now, I have been sitting here watching my lights go off. In fact, one of my motion sensor lights just went off next to me. But it doesn't scare me. I've been more scared of the dark when I'm in my house, believe it or not, when I'm inside. My mind tends to get the best of me and I think everything is a ghost or an axe murderer. But when I'm outside, I don't know. I just think it's the same as it is during the day. It's just different animals are awake. And I just like the sounds. I've always been a night owl. Like I said, at night in my own house, I don't really like it pitch dark. I don't like it black. I don't know. It creeps me out a little bit when I'm in my home, but at night, I love coming out here and just sitting. And the way that my property's set up, if we do have cougar around here. My neighbors have video cameras and they have caught the cougar several times. Several of my neighbors have cameras and they've all caught the cougar. And I've seen the bobcat, I've seen and heard the coyotes, and I know what's out here. But, we've been living with these animals, with wild animals, for a long time. We've coexisted for a long time. And I don't know. Again, there's just something to be said about looking at things from different perspective. And There's amazing things during the day that are beautiful and sounds during the day that are great. And night, in the evening, it has just as many amazing things to offer, I don't think people should be scared. I think people should go, wow, what a different perspective, what a different viewpoint. Maybe the animals are scared of us. Maybe they're like, what the hell are you doing out here at night? You guys are not normally out here. What are you doing? Who knows? But I like it when the lights light up because it just makes me go, ooh, what is it? What is out there? I mean, again, like I said, sometimes once in a while in the back of my head, I'm like, I have those there for a reason. I hope it's not some crazy axe murderer. That would suck as I'm out here trying to appreciate things. And then I'm like, everybody go outside. Don't be scared at night. And then you get murdered. I mean, I suppose if you live in a city, maybe just tootling around at night, I went to New Orleans and for some reason, because I'm stupid, and naive, I went tootling around the Ninth Ward at night with that time, my sons were this was 13 years ago. So my sons were significantly younger and I looked like a tourist. I looked the part. And I I like the above ground graveyards. I think they're cool looking and I was taking pictures of them. And then it started to be getting dark and we were tootling around apparently in a really, really unsafe neighborhood of New Orleans. And this gentleman, this incredibly large, by large, I mean very, very tall and large, both, African American man came running up to us saying, you guys, you need to get on this. You need to come with me right now. You cannot be down here. It is not safe. And I was like, well, how do I know you're safe? You could be trying to lure us to kill us. I'm supposed to trust you. And he's like, no, for real. And we just kind of figured, okay, we should trust him. Well, he was like, come with me to the bus station. Where are you guys staying? I'm going to take you back to your hotel. And I'm like, well, I told him, and he's like, okay, that's kind of far, but I'm going to take you there. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. I was like, no, I really do. You don't understand. You are actually in danger. This isn't good. So I was like, oh shit, really? I'm like, but hi, yeah, everybody likes me. I'm a great person. I'm nice. Don't worry. Just let me meet them. Let me talk to them. They won't kill us. It'll be fine. And I didn't say that. Of course I didn't say that. But in my head, I'm like, oh, come on. Nobody is bad. It's all good. And he's like, please come with me. So so he took us to this bus stop. We get on a bus and I've never felt so white in my life, but it was great. I loved it. Again, different perspective, right? I'm used to being the minority and I became the minority and I liked it. That's the entire reason that I travel. I like to travel and I liked my kids to travel and I still like them to travel so that we can get different perspectives and we can see things from different angles. And I got to see things from a different perspective, which was I was the minority. And boy, did they make me feel like it. And man, I've never had so many eyeballs on me at once. But this man stayed with us all the way to our hotel and made sure we got to the steps of the hotel. It was pretty great, but I didn't realize that, looking back, I was like, huh, duly noted. That was stupid. I did the same thing when we went to Belize and we were coming home because the tail end of our trip turned out to be a forking nightmare and it was disastrous. And long story short, we ended up having to go from San Ignacio, Belize, which was amazing. And we went to Guatemala for a bit to see Tikal. And that part of the trip, fantastic. But then we ended up going off to the island of San Pedro, which turned out to be a disaster. And very long story short, we had to cut our trip a little short and fly back, and we had to fly out of Belize City. And in the meantime, we had to stay at a hotel there that had heavily armed guards with magazines of, bullets across their shoulders and guns. And yeah. And I was like, oh, let's go see what Belize City has to offer. And we look up and I see a big, gigantic advertising type of poster that talks about sex trafficking. And I'm like, okay. And again, this is, Belize was probably 9 years ago, I guess, at this point, maybe more. No, maybe 10. And I still am like, let's go see what Belize City has to offer. So I go with my sons. Again, they're younger at the time. They're not adults. And I go tootling down, and I'm a lot younger, and I go tootling into Belize City. And again, this man is like, hey, what you doing? And I'm like, what? And, you know, not understanding the gravity of what I'm doing. And granted, there were people down in Belize City, and it seemed okay. Like, it didn't seem like we were in that dire of like danger or anything. But apparently it's kind of known for sex trafficking. And at the time I was a lot younger. Now I'm probably too old for that. Nobody wants to sex traffic an old lady. I'm not making light of sex trafficking, by the way. I'm really not. It's a big deal. I'm just saying I'm too old for that. Nobody wants me now. But back then, back then I wasn't too shabby, and I just wasn't thinking about it. And I had my sons. And again, I'm naive, and I just think that people are good, and that they're not going to do this, and it's on TV, or that I can talk to people and we'll make friends, and pretty soon we'll be laughing and having coffee. That's just how my mind works. Not because I'm conceited and I think everybody likes me. I just genuinely think the world's better than it is sometimes. And yeah, apparently Belize City, by the way, not the safest place to be. So yeah, perspective, point of view, getting things from different angles are a good thing and a bad thing. But that made me learn, right? I learned what not to do. So that was good. It was good to get that perspective. It was good to look at things from that angle. So just a reminder, coming outside at night or during the day or during a thunderstorm or during when it's hailing, when it's windy, when it's sunny, when it's snowing, going to different towns, talking to different people, getting different points of view on religion or race, on just different political topics, on food. I don't care. Just talk about things and get people's opinion, get other opinions more than just your own, because you can't really form an opinion if you don't have all the information. If you don't have all the facts, if you don't have all the data, what do you say? Envelope, tomato. If you don't have all the data, then you can't really accurately form an opinion, I feel like, you know? So perspective is good. This episode is brought to you by the letter P for perspective. I don't know. So I highly suggest everybody talking to somebody that they normally wouldn't, or trying something that they normally wouldn't try, or taking a hike and, get up to the highest peak you can and look at things and assess things, from a different point of view, different angle. It's really handy for a photographer. It's handy for people. It's a good thing. Anyway, this is just a quick episode, just to, like I said, to remind everybody that things are not always bad when you're in the dark, but it is good to know that there is a light side and a dark side. There are different, at night, you don't have to be fearful of the things you can't see. You don't have to be fearful of the unknown. The unknown can be something waiting for you that's good, an opportunity. The unknown just means that right this very moment, you may not have all of the information. Right this very moment, you may not be able to form an accurate assessment or be able to make an opinion because you don't have all the information. So, just wait until there's a little more perspective and a little more data. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to another episode of me rambling on about absolutely nothing. Thank you so much for allowing me to invade your brain and get into your head and probably pollute it with crap that is really useless. I don't really say anything that's remotely important or helpful, probably, but I appreciate that you're listening nonetheless. even if it's while you're, it helps you take a poop. I don't know. Maybe you're just listening because it really just makes you fall asleep. But regardless, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And until next time.